The deafening roar hits you first, 10,000 power looms crashing in perfect mechanical symphony, shaking the brick walls with every beat. Steam hisses from pipes running along the ceiling like iron veins. The air is so thick with cotton fibers it looks like snow falling indoors, coating everything in a soft white dust that invades your lungs with every breath. A girl, she can't be more than 9 years old, darts between the massive machines. Her bare feet silent on the oil-slicked floor as she crawls beneath spinning mule jennies to tie broken threads. One mistake, one moment of hesitation, and those rotating spindles will catch her hair, her dress, her arm. Welcome to Murray's Mill in Ancoats, Manchester. It's 7 o'clock on a November morning in 1850 and you're standing at the exact epicenter of the most radical transformation in human history. Welcome to Arthur's living history. Have you ever wondered how the world you live in today, the industrial world, the urban world, the world of mass production and global trade, actually came into existence? Let me explain. Forget London, forget Paris, forget New York. In 1850, if you want to see the future being born in fire and steam and human suffering and unprecedented innovation, there's only one place on earth that matters: Manchester. This city of roughly 300,000 souls is printing money, literally rewriting the laws of economics and churning out more cotton fabric than the entire rest of the planet combined. They're calling it Cottonopolis, and that's not marketing, it's simple truth. Our journey begins not in the city centre, but approaching from the south on the Liverpool and Manchester Railway. This railway line, opened just 20 years ago in 1830, was the world's first intercity passenger railway, and riding it still feels like hurtling through space at impossible speeds, 30 miles per hour. Your grandparents would have considered this velocity reserved for falling off cliffs, yet here you are, drinking tea in a first-class carriage while the countryside blurs past the window. But look ahead. Do you see that? On the horizon, where the sky should be blue, there's a dark brown smudge spreading across the heavens like a bruise. That's Manchester. The city produces its own weather system, a permanent cloud of coal smoke so dense that residents go weeks without seeing the sun. On bad days, gas lamps burn at noon. Birds flying overhead drop from the sky, asphyxiated. The rain, when it comes, falls black. We're pulling into Victoria Station now, and the sensory assault is immediate. The smell, imagine burning coal mixed with human waste, rotting vegetables, animal carcasses from the slaughterhouses, chemical dyes from the factories, all stewing together in damp wool and unwashed bodies. It's a smell you can taste. Newcomers retch. Locals don't even notice anymore. The station platform teems with humanity. Irish immigrants fresh off the boat at Liverpool, carrying everything they own in cloth bundles, drawn by promises of work in the mills. Country folk from Lancashire and Yorkshire, displaced by agricultural mechanisation, hoping the factories will save them from starvation. Businessmen in top hats and tailcoats, clutching leather cases filled with contracts worth more than most people will earn in their entire lives. Street children, barefoot, skeletal, darting through the crowd, looking for pockets to pick or bags to snatch. Step outside, and Manchester hits you like a physical force. The noise is constant, unrelenting, a mechanical heartbeat that never stops. Factory whistles shriek at shift changes. Iron-rimmed wheels clatter on cobblestones. Steam engines hiss and clank. Somewhere close by, a pile driver is hammering foundation supports for yet another warehouse, each impact vibrating through the ground beneath your feet. This city never sleeps, never pauses, never takes a breath. We're standing on Deansgate, one of the main thoroughfares, and it's barely 9 in the morning, but the streets are already choked with traffic. Carts laden with raw cotton bales from American plantations, picked by enslaved hands and shipped across the Atlantic, queue outside warehouse gates. Coal wagons deliver fuel to hungry factory boilers. Hand carts piled with finished calico fabric head toward the port. And everywhere, people. Thousands upon thousands of people, all moving with purpose, all part of the great machine that is industrial Manchester. Here's something that'll surprise you. Manchester in 1800 was a town of 75,000 people. In just 50 years, it's quadrupled in size. That's not growth, that's an explosion. And the city simply couldn't cope. There was no planning, no infrastructure, no thought beyond build more factories, house more workers, make more profit. The results are catastrophic and magnificent in equal measure. Look at that street running off to our left. That leads into Angel Meadow, which one government inspector recently called the lowest, most filthy, most unhealthy and most wicked locality in Manchester. 40,000 people crammed into a square half-mile. Entire families living in single basement rooms that flood when it rains. No running water. No sewers. Chamber pots emptied into open drains in the street. Cholera, typhus and tuberculosis spread like wildfire through these rookeries, claiming lives by the thousands. Yet walk 3 blocks in the other direction, and you'll find yourself on King Street, where cotton merchants are building Italianate palazzos that wouldn't look out of place in Renaissance Florence. These men, the new aristocracy of industry, are becoming rich on a scale that makes old landed gentry look like peasants. Samuel Gregg, Robert Hyde, Thomas Ashton, names you won't find in most history books, but men who controlled more wealth than many European monarchs. We're heading now toward Ancoats, the industrial heart of the city. This district didn't exist 60 years ago. Now it's the greatest concentration of productive power humanity has ever assembled. Mill after mill after mill, each one a cathedral to capitalism, each one a monument to human ingenuity and human misery intertwined. The mills themselves are architectural marvels. These aren't crude sheds. They're precisely engineered structures 7 or 8 stories tall, with cast iron columns supporting floors designed to hold hundreds of tons of machinery. The windows are enormous, because before electric lighting, every ounce of natural light matters. Some mills stretch 300 feet long, and when all their machines are running, the vibration can be felt a quarter mile away. We're entering Murray's Mill now, one of the largest in Ancoats. The overseer, they call him the tackler, barely glances at us as we step inside. He's too busy watching his workforce, making sure nobody's slacking, making sure production quotas are met. His leather strap hangs from his belt, and he's not afraid to use it on workers who fall behind. The noise inside defies description. It's not just loud, it's a physical presence that hammers at your skull. Workers communicate entirely through hand signals and lip reading because shouting is useless. Many of them are deaf before they're 30, their hearing destroyed by decades of mechanical thunder. The machinery is breathtaking. These power looms, invented by Edmund Cartwright 60 years ago but perfected here in Manchester, weave fabric so quickly that it takes your breath away. Where a hand weaver might produce 15 yards of cloth per week, one of these machines produces that much in a day. And each mill contains hundreds of them, all running simultaneously, all fed by a single massive steam engine in the basement. That steam engine deserves its own moment of appreciation. Picture a cylinder 6 feet in diameter, pistons rising and falling with ponderous inevitability, connecting rods spinning a flywheel 20 feet across. This one machine generates 300 horsepower, transmitted through an intricate system of shafts, belts and gears to power every loom in the building. The engineering required to distribute that power efficiently, maintaining tension on hundreds of leather belts, preventing vibration from tearing the building apart, keeping everything synchronized, represents mathematics and physics that most university professors couldn't calculate. The workers themselves are mostly women and children. Here's why. Women and children can be paid less than men, sometimes a third as much, and their smaller hands are better suited to the delicate work of tying threads and cleaning beneath moving machinery. That 9-year-old girl we saw earlier? She started working here when she was 6, and she'll work here until her body gives out or a machine claims her. Her wages, maybe 3 shillings per week, are the difference between her family eating or starving. The shifts run 13 hours, sometimes 15, during busy periods. Workers arrive before dawn and leave after dark, spending their entire lives in artificial light, breathing air so laden with cotton dust that their lungs gradually turn white with fibrosis. There's a condition the doctors call brown lung or byssinosis, and it's killing workers by the thousands, but nobody in power seems particularly concerned.
Mill workers wanted in Ancoats.
After all, there are always more workers arriving on the next train from Ireland. Now, before you judge the mill owners too harshly, and there's plenty to judge, understand this. They're operating in an economic system with essentially no rules. Child labour laws barely exist. Workplace safety regulations won't arrive for decades. Trade unions are still illegal, suppressed by the Combination Acts. These factory owners are navigating utterly new territory, creating an economic model that's never existed before, and most of them genuinely believe they're benefiting humanity by providing employment. Some of them even have a point. Robert Owen, though he ran his model factory in Scotland, demonstrated that treating workers decently, providing education for their children, and building quality housing actually increased productivity and profits. But men like Owen are rare. Most factory owners subscribe to a brutal calculus. Workers are replaceable, profits are sacred, and competition is merciless. Speaking of competition, let's talk about why Manchester dominates global textile production.
From the docks at Liverpool, observe the seamless...
It's not just the machines or the workforce, it's geography and infrastructure working in perfect harmony. Raw cotton arrives at Liverpool from America, the Caribbean, Egypt and India. The Bridgewater Canal, completed back in 1761, carries that cotton directly to Manchester warehouses.
Keep pushing, lad, we're nearly at the shaft.
Coal from nearby Lancashire mines fuels the steam engines.
Keep on that line. Lower the Bombay crates steady now.
Finished fabric goes back through Liverpool to markets worldwide. The entire system is integrated with an efficiency that wouldn't be matched until modern, just-in-time manufacturing. We're leaving the mill now. The overseer has decided we're disrupting production and stepping back into Manchester's streets. It's midday, and if you thought the morning was chaotic, noon is pandemonium. Thousands of workers are flooding out of factories for their half-hour dinner break, clutching bread and dripping in the street, trying to consume enough calories to power them through the afternoon shift.
Pies! Get your hot pies here! Stew!
A penny a bowl for the finest stew.
Street vendors work the crowds.
That's a penny, thank you. Here's a warm one for ye.
Much obliged,
hot potatoes, a penny each.
Savoury pies. Get your hot pies here. Fresh and filling.
Meat pies of dubious origin.
Wholesome. Hey, guaranteed the best fuel for the mills. Come on now, Lively. 1 penny a glass.
Gin served from wheelbarrows, a penny per glass.
Hey, steady on.
The temperance movement is fighting hard against alcohol consumption. But when your life consists of 13-hour shifts in deafening, dangerous conditions, followed by returning to a flooded cellar shared with 12 other people, gin offers the only escape available. Let's walk toward the city centre, toward the Royal Exchange. This building, opened just 5 years ago in 1845, is where the real power resides. This is where cotton merchants gather twice daily to buy and sell not just fabric, but futures, commodities, and financial instruments that will eventually evolve into modern capitalism. The trading floor is pandemonium. Hundreds of men in dark suits shouting, gesturing, making deals worth thousands of pounds with nothing more than a handshake and a nod. Here's something fascinating. The prices set in this one building in Manchester affect global economies. A bad harvest in America. Cotton prices spike in Manchester, and ripples spread to textile workers in India, farmers in Egypt, investors in London, consumers in Australia. Manchester has become the nerve centre of a global network, and the telegraph, that miraculous new technology, allows information to flow at speeds that would have seemed magical to our grandparents. The architecture around us tells Manchester's story in stone and brick. Look at that warehouse. Those massive arched windows, that rusticated ground floor, those decorative cornices. That's not industrial architecture, that's palazzo architecture, Renaissance styling applied to a building designed to store cotton bales. The merchants who built this wanted the world to know they weren't crude factory owners, but sophisticated men of culture and refinement. But turn down this alley, and you'll see the other Manchester. Slums that defy imagination. Buildings constructed so quickly and cheaply that they're already collapsing. Back-to-back housing, rows of single-room dwellings sharing walls, with no rear access, no ventilation, no light. The courtyards between these buildings serve as open sewers, filled with refuse and human waste that never drains properly. A young man named Friedrich Engels lived in Manchester in the 1840s, working in his father's textile business while secretly documenting working-class conditions. His book, The Condition of the Working Class in England, published in 1845, describes scenes that shocked even hardened social reformers. Engels walked these same streets we're walking now, witnessed the same squalor, and reached conclusions that would change history. He met Karl Marx, and together they'd write the Communist Manifesto just 2 years ago in 1848. Whether you agree with their political philosophy or not, understand this: they weren't inventing problems. The contradictions they identified, immense wealth built on desperate poverty, extraordinary productivity coexisting with brutal exploitation, those contradictions are real, visible, undeniable. Manchester is Exhibit A in every argument about capitalism, industrialization, and human progress. We're approaching the River Irwell now, and the stench becomes almost unbearable. This river, once clear enough to support salmon, now runs the color of whatever dye the textile mills are using today. Sometimes it's bright red, sometimes blue or green. Always poisonous. Fish can't survive in these waters, neither can most plants along the banks. The river is essentially dead, killed by the chemicals required to bleach, dye, and finish cotton fabric. Yet here's the paradox that defines Manchester. This environmental destruction is the byproduct of creating affordable fabric for millions of people worldwide.
Finest Indian muslin, madam. Worth
Before industrial production, cotton fabric was a luxury.
a yard. Bright new patterns. That will be 8 for the 6 yards, miss. A fine choice.
Now it's within reach of working-class families.
Would be astonished at the price. Fresh off the looms. The finest prints you'll find.
That cheap cotton dress a shop girl can afford in London. It exists because of what's happening here in Manchester, in these polluted rivers and smoke-filled skies. The sun is setting now, or rather, the perpetual overcast is darkening from grey to black. Gas lamps flicker to life across the city, fed by coal gas produced in vast gasworks on the outskirts. Manchester was one of the first cities to adopt gas street lighting, and the effect is almost magical. The streets glitter with points of light, reflecting off wet cobblestones and puddles. The evening shift change is happening. Day workers stumble home, exhausted beyond words. Night workers trudge toward the mills, faces already resigned. The machines never stop. Why should they? Every hour of downtime is money lost, and in Manchester, money is God.
Another pint, landlord. Thirsty work today.
But as darkness claims the city, a different Manchester awakens.
Another pint of ale for me and the lads. The finest.
The pubs fill with workers spending precious pennies on beer and companionship.
People's Charter guarantees our rights.
Music halls echo with songs and laughter.
To the voice of the working man.
Somewhere, in a basement in Chorlton-on-Medlock, a group of Chartists, working-class political reformers, meet in secret, plotting how to extend voting rights beyond property owners. Their movement will ultimately fail, but the seeds they're planting will grow into the Labour Party and universal suffrage.
I trust the turtle soup meets with your...
In the wealthy districts, dinner parties are just beginning.
It is particularly fine.
Merchants and their families dine on multiple courses while discussing politics, arts, and the latest scientific discoveries. Manchester has wealth enough to support theatres, concert halls, and a growing cultural scene. The Halle Orchestra, which will become one of England's finest, will be founded here in just 8 years. Standing on a bridge over the Irwell, watching the city lights reflect in poisoned water, listening to the endless mechanical heartbeat of the mills, I'm struck by how thoroughly Manchester represents our modern condition. This city invented the world we inhabit. The good and the bad, the progress and the pollution, the wealth and the poverty, the innovation and the exploitation. It's all here, compressed into one impossibly dense, impossibly productive, impossibly contradictory urban space. Within 50 years, Manchester will clean up significantly. Factory acts will limit child labour and improve conditions.
Find the gradient on that upper course, lads. Right, steady now, lift on 3.
Public health reforms will install sewers and clean water.
Gentlemen, this recognition confirms the...
Trade unions will win recognition and rights.
The rights secured today benefit all workers.
The river will begin to recover. The air will clear slightly. But the city will also face new challenges as global competition emerges and Britain's manufacturing dominance fades. Yet standing here in 1850, none of that is imaginable. Manchester feels invincible, unstoppable, the beating heart of the modern world. And in a sense, it is. Every smartphone factory in China, every textile mill in Bangladesh, every industrial city anywhere on Earth, they all descend from what's happening here. The patterns established in Manchester, mass production, wage labour, urbanisation, environmental externalities, extreme inequality alongside unprecedented productivity, these are the patterns that define industrial civilization itself. The Romans built in marble and bronze, creating beauty that endures millennia. The Victorians of Manchester built in brick and iron, creating systems that transformed humanity's relationship with production, consumption, and each other. Their legacy is more complicated, more uncomfortable, harder to romanticize. But it's also more immediate, more relevant, more foundational to understanding the world you wake up in every single day. So if you enjoyed this journey through the smoke and steam of industrial Manchester, through the world's first truly modern city, hit that subscribe button. Every week I'm bringing these pivotal moments in human history back to life with the same attention to detail, the same commitment to showing you not just the facts, but the feeling, the atmosphere, the lived reality of the past. I'm Arthur, and I want to know, what historical event should I bring to life next? Let me know in the comments.